From IT freelancer to IT entrepreneur. My three essential skills you must master to make this transition. I'm Patrick McGibney, CEO and founder of McGibney Mentoring and Coaching. And let's dive right into this video and why it can help you to make this transition if you're an IT freelancer or want to become an IT entrepreneur. Let's go. A little bit backstory about me beforehand. My journey as an entrepreneur began 2013. Before I worked as a freelancer, before I worked as an employee in the consulting business, back then SAP and then Microsoft as well. And when I started making the transition from a freelancer to an entrepreneur, I was filled with passion. I was filled with ambition. So are you. I decided to transition from simple freelancing to entrepreneurship, and it took the lead. Yeah. And I started hiring my first employees. But reality did not wait too long, and it hit me hard. I had to let them go. And it felt like my dreams slipped away. I felt demotivated, insecure. I let everybody down. That's exactly how I felt. What went wrong? The answer is very simple. I lacked the necessary skills to lead and manage a team effectively. So skills to be a manager, to be an entrepreneur. I was great at my craft, my specialty, but unprepared. And back then it was SAP consulting development, but unprepared for the demands of entrepreneurship. However, over time, I learned from my mistakes. I learned the skills, and eventually, God bless, it worked out. Yeah. I built and scaled my first SAP business to 7 digits and grew it to a 40-person team, primarily in Germany. Later, I started another Microsoft-focused business group, company group, and expanded it to multiple 7 figures in different countries with nearly 100 employees, countries like Germany, Poland, Ukraine, Cyprus, and other countries. In 2021, I was lucky enough to make my successful exit from my companies, which allowed me to live my dream that I'm living right now in Cyprus and focus on helping other IT experts to achieve similar success. Yeah. Last year alone, I made 500K personal income from my businesses, from the current business that we are speaking about right now. As you can see here, I also pasted a screenshot. If you want that, it's 469,940. I'm just talking about personal income, not about revenue or profit margin. Yeah, that's what I made personally out of my businesses. The point of this video will be to explain how I transitioned from a freelancer to an entrepreneur and what things I learned which you need to master. 2013 was like this for me. I really wanted to be an entrepreneur. I hired my first employees, but my mentality was before I get fit, I'll just do it myself. Yeah. Every order felt like a shot in the dark with no structured feedback to guide me. As a freelancer, you're in a much better position to avoid this uncertainty. That's what went through my head. I had to lay off my first employees because I offer a very individual service. It's not as easy as putting up a website. Yeah. So everything was too unique. I'll do it myself kind of way. Yeah. My ego was on the way. Look how important and good I am. Yeah. Nobody can deliver this as well as I can do that. Today, BS, but that's how I felt. And I bet some people feel like that today. Why did I fail? The game of a solopreneur slash freelancer is being an expert, not a manager or an entrepreneur. You are a specialist in design, code, marketing, consulting, development. Yeah? A manager is about leadership, processes, systems, and an entrepreneur is about vision, strategy, and planning. So you're basically a specialist. an expert in your field, SAP consultant, Microsoft developer, whatsoever, Salesforce architect, yeah, and you're really good at it here, but you're not good at managing or being an entrepreneur yet. Yeah, you may be 10 out of 10 being a specialist, but 1 out of 10 being a manager or an entrepreneur. Why is that so? Good news is we can learn it. Yeah. That's a challenge. You may be an expert in your field, but you're not yet a manager or an entrepreneur. It's exactly what was the case for me. It's a complete different ball game if you're managing people and really want to build a business. And I don't want to discourage you. On the contrary, I want to encourage you to do that. But I want to just give you a real reality check that a lot of people, especially me back then, thought, oh, it's easy. Just manage some people, build a team, build some, real business service offering, lead generation, marketing, sales, recruiting, hire. If it was so easy, everybody would do it. And the ego is in the way. If you don't learn from others, you will have to learn from your own mistakes. It will cost you so much time and money and energy. Yeah. Just being a specialist does not qualify you being a manager nor an entrepreneur, but it's learnable like everything else. Let's do some management 101. Management is about check-ins. Yeah, you regularly engage with your team to understand the social and the work context they're navigating. This fosters or encourages better communication and trust. Makes sense. You need to check what your team is doing, and quality assurance. Accountability and responsibility, my favorite. Clearly defining roles right from the start, ensuring each team member understand their responsibilities and held is accountable to their performance. Super important. Yeah. Roles and responsibilities is a classic. I could not emphasize this more. How many times I was not clear about which roles or responsibilities a team member had, brought them on board because they had a good resume, didn't clearly outline what they're actually supposed to do. And of course, no outcome. How can you hold someone accountable for something that you're clearly defining which role or responsibility he or she has? So important. That's why, and that's leading to the next point, limitations in managing people. According to management theory, you can only effectively manage a maximum of really maximum 10 people. I have that. Yeah. Beyond this, yeah, it's impacting your and the team performance if you're managing more. I felt this way to exactly maximum of 10 people. And this is also why there's this not a theory, but also practical saying that it's the first step building. The first step is transitioning from freelancing to being an entrepreneur. The next step is building a team to a maximum of 10 people, right? That's fairly easy. The next step, building a team to 20, 25 people, is a lot harder because now you can't manage them directly anymore. You have to have people helping you to manage other people. It's a complete different structure. Next jump is to 50. Now you're building most likely a matrix organization with a management level. So next layer in the onion, and then going to 100, you definitely need the matrix organization. And that's exactly how we build our businesses. So that's a management 01. You need to check your team, what they're doing, accountability, responsibility, and managing 10 people maximum. Management is about system and processes. They are absolutely necessary because it's not just you. You have people working with you, for you. You have to have processes and systems that support the processes that you're defining. The problem with management is that a lot of people tend to overthink or underthink it. Think about that. So making it too complex or not complex enough. Yeah, that's what I see a lot of times. Maybe they underestimate the task of being a manager or overestimate it sometimes as well. Yeah, experience will show what it is. And it's always about finding the origin of a problem. What is the process trigger? So if you find something that is not working, a process, you always need to find the root cause here. That's about management because you don't want that process or that era is coming again. You don't want to reproduce it. You want to diminish it. That's why it's always important to find your origin about the process trigger. Yeah. What is entrepreneurship on the other hand? Let's take a look at Freelancer 1. Freelancer 1 is just looking for clients and projects. Nothing more than a better paid employee. Nothing wrong about it. Don't want to discourage anyone, but that's how typical freelancers are, right? Maybe you are one of them and you want to make the transition. Jumping from a project to a project, getting a little bit more paid than an employee, a lot more risk. Freelancer 2 thinks about improvements, wants to break the time for money chains, has a more strategic approach, already has more strategical or entrepreneurial thinking. That leads to the third one, the entrepreneur. It's about vision, it's about planning, yearly, quarterly OKRs, really about building and scaling in a business. And here comes leadership in place. I love this chart. What is leadership for you? Define it for yourself. That's a very important message. Here is how I define it. There's a small little synergy between giving recognition when things go right and taking responsibility when things go wrong. Here is leadership. So you hold yourself accountable for you and your team if things go right or wrong. Yeah. Then leadership is about inspiring and guiding others to a common goal for your business, while creating an environment where each employee can grow and succeed. Yeah. And let me tell you, at the beginning, it will be tough and you will fail. And that's totally okay. Let me tell you this at this point. I failed many times. Leadership is something that I think that's a role that you live into. Of course, you can adapt a lot of things from other successful people who have walked that path already. But it's something individual, in my opinion, that everybody needs to learn for her or himself. But a very important, you need to take responsibility not only for you, for your team, because it's your business. Yeah, that's why the recruiting, hiring, interview process is so key. One of my mentors told me that only hire 1% of the people you interview, but fire fast. Why is that so? It takes you weeks, months, years to build that business, to build that team up until everything is working the way you want. But with the wrong person in the team, it will take you days to weeks to burn it all down. Believe me, happened to me. I hired and fired hundreds of people by now. And there were some that I really trusted that really ruined my company and really hurt me, not only professionally, but also privately. So take this advice, be careful, have a thorough interview process, 3 stages, what we teach, and hire selectively. You need to lead them. So where do you start generally? Let's take a plan. So, and then please don't take this as an insult or whatsoever. It's just a statement. Yeah. And it's the truth. Yeah. Because I was there as well. You have no plan. Yeah. You're going to get knocked out, and that's fine. Just accept that. Yeah. Maybe we don't have to have so many TKOs as I had or many others had already. Your employees won't believe in themselves if you don't believe in them. Positive atmosphere. Yeah. Very important when you build up a team. And if you constantly struggle with an employee or something feels off, you should address it. Trust your gut feeling. Your gut feeling about the person is usually right. I mistrusted many times in the past my gut feeling, and I was always proven wrong. But today, I always say, I'll trust my gut feeling. If you feel something is not right about that person, about the team, you're probably right. And starting out, be more critical when hiring people. This is so important. Don't just hire to hire. Hire selectively, qualitatively people. It will be representing your business, your baby. I cannot emphasize this more. So here are you right now. Yeah, you are here. Let me shift myself away. You're here. Yeah, this is an employee. This matrix is a manager, and both have experience. So if you're an experienced employee, you're not an experienced manager. If you're an experienced manager, you're not an experienced employee. You want to be here, obviously. Yeah, both experienced manager and employee. Right now, you're probably here. Managing is something else. So what is necessary to get here? You need to be able to suspect errors, suspectability of errors. So if you are able to understand why an error is coming, where an error is coming from, find the root cause, the origin, you'll be building the ladder. Yeah? Risk mitigation. An entrepreneur goes for risks and can mitigate them. And especially when it comes to being experienced manager, there's a lot of coachings, a lot of trainings, yeah, that will teach you the basics. And then it's about adding experience. And then you will be able to enhance the synergies between being an expert, an employee, and a good manager. And that leads to being a good entrepreneur. Huh? Very, very, very important. So let's wrap it up. Yeah. What was this about? Experience, mentality, mindset. These three things you need to make the transition from a freelancer to an entrepreneur. Being a good manager, being a good entrepreneur, embracing leadership. That will enhance your experience, your mentality, and mindset. I know it is a tough walk. I know. It's definitely possible. Don't get discouraged if something is not working out. Point I'm trying to make is you will get knocked out. You will fail at some point. It's totally okay. The only thing that you need to promise me is don't start every time at zero. There are so many people like me and millions of others who have walked the path. There's so much, there's so much information about you don't have to make the same mistakes everybody else did. Do your own mistakes at some point. Yes, and they're necessary. But a lot of mistakes you can learn from others. Because it is a big transition from a freelancer to an entrepreneur. The mindset, the thinking, the mentality is different. You will need to build experience. You cannot just click like that. I'm now an experienced manager. Managing people is a different ballgame. Being an entrepreneur is a bit different ballgame. Just being a freelancer, it's a great ballgame, but there are some milestones you need to achieve to get there. That's the point I'm trying to make. Don't get discouraged. We can get you there. Yeah. If you want to know more how to make this transition from freelancer to entrepreneur, we have now supported dozens of freelancers moving on to being an entrepreneur in the IT business, SAP, Microsoft, Salesforce, DevOps, whatsoever. Yeah, individual development. That's what we're there for support. If you want to have some support, more information, just comment under that video. I really hope it helps. If you need more thorough information, just contact me via DM. Happy to help. Also send you this PDF. If you want to know more about how we can help you, you can also jump on a call. The link will be under the video as well to book yourself in. Really hope this helps you. It's a highly delicate topic. It's a great transition that is lying in front of you. Embrace it, be happy, enjoy the ride, and I'll see you on the other side.